Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a hypothetical situation, and that is eyeshadow palettes I would declutter if I really had to. For example, if I had to move anytime soon, I would not want to move with, I think I have 140 eyeshadow palettes somewhere around there. I recently did my makeup inventory. You can check that out. Yeah, I wouldn't want to carry that many palettes with me. Some of them would break along the way. So again, hypothetical situation, if I had to declutter some palettes, these are ones that would go. That doesn't make them bad palettes. Keep that in mind. I do like these palettes. I really do, but they probably wouldn't make the cut with how many palettes I own. If you are new, please subscribe. I upload 4 videos a week, including YouTube Shorts. And if you like eyeshadow palette related videos, check out my eyeshadow palette playlist. There's a lot of videos there, and let's get into this. One palette that I don't think would make the cut, which is kind of sad because, again, I do like this palette, and that is this one from Rare Beauty. This is the True to Myself eyeshadow palette. It's a nice palette. It is. I've only used this a couple of times. So I just feel like I have these colors in a lot of other palettes. The color story is not that unique. The formula is good. It's not the best I've ever tried. This sparkly shade here in the middle, it's very pretty. It is. There's just nothing like wowing me about this palette that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. It's so good. So I like it. I do. It's just not best of the best. This next one is kind of embarrassing, but I guess I don't think this one would make the cut because I've never used it. I know. So I bought this at the beginning of the year. There was a sale going on from Gourmand Girls, and I really wanted to try more indie brands. And this is that time of the year palette. It's really pretty. It is. Um, Never used it. So in a situation like this, where I would have to get rid of stuff, this would be a perfect thing to get rid of because I haven't used it and I could just give it to someone else and it's in like perfect condition. Kind of sad. I need to use this. These greens are really calling to me. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? But again, this is why I'm on a no buy right now because in January I bought a lot of makeup, especially eyeshadow palettes. So hard to believe, but there are other palettes on this list that are on the newer side that I guess I kind of realized I just didn't need. I bought them more out of curiosity. Another one is from Beauty Bay. Now, these Beauty Bay palettes, they are really good. Let me tell you, they are really good. This is their Brights palette. I just didn't need to buy this. It's a really good formula. It's mostly colorful shades with like this row of neutrals. I have these colors and I don't know. I think as far as rainbow palettes, this color story is it's a little bit basic in my opinion, I guess. Um it's nothing too exciting. Like for example, I have the Blend Bunny Primal palette, which is also a rainbow palette, and that's one of the palettes I'm actually wearing today. There's something about that one that I feel like the layout is a bit more interesting, the color selection is a bit more interesting. This is just kind of like we'll come up with every color and put it in a palette. But the formula's great. The formula's great, but it's just probably one of the least creative things I've seen in a while. Um, Great formula though, but I just don't think I would need it. Um, Sad to say, I really like this palette. I do. That's a theme here. I'm gonna keep saying that. I guess I just don't think I would keep this if I really had to declutter some stuff. And that's this Elf Retro Paradise palette. This color story is stunning, absolutely beautiful. This is the best formulated Elf palette I've tried, but it's still not that great. It's good, it's not amazing. I particularly love these 4 shadows here. They are so beautiful, like this ocean blue, the periwinkle, the lavender, this beautiful green. It's such a stunning color story that I keep this, even though formula-wise, I would say it's not amazing. It's probably like a 6 out of 10 on formula, but color story is like a 10 out of 10. So, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm afraid I would have to get rid of this if I really had to. But, luckily, this is all hypothetical, so I'm not actually getting rid of any of these palettes. Another kind of newer palette that, again, I would probably hypothetically get rid of just because I haven't used it that much. That is the Unearthly Cosmetics Surrender Eyeshadow Palette. This was in their Valentine's mystery box. And it's pretty, it really is. And the formula is good. I just feel like, again, I don't know, I have these colors, and when Valentine's like time rolled around, I think I used it once, but I think if it's got a similar color story to the Natasha Denona Love palette actually. There's some similar shades, and I do think I like that one more than I like this one. And yeah, it's like I bought this in January and I've hardly used it. And it's already the end of April, so I feel like that's kind of telling me something. Um, this is an older palette. Again, I love it. I do, but I just don't use it a lot, and that is the Saharan by Juvia's Place. In general, my Juvia's Place palettes have gotten kind of forgotten about. I still like the formula, but I don't think it's my favorite. This one is a really good color story. This one, I would say the formula on this is probably like an 8 out of 10. It's very good. And the color story is probably a 9 out of 10. It's a good palette. I particularly like this bright red shade and then this gorgeous gold. It's so pretty. But again, the rest of the palette, it's like, yeah, some browns, burgundies. I have those shades like a million times over again. Um, but these two shades stand out, and they're definitely my favorites in this palette. This one too. We'll say these three are my favorites. But the rest of the palette really doesn't stand out to me. And I think part of it is like this packaging is like this beautiful color, and then that's the color of this eyeshadow, which is so stunning. But I'm sure if I looked through my collection, I have a bright red like this. So yeah, it's got a couple really awesome shades, but the rest is kind of generic. Speaking of generic, um, I think the Naked Reloaded would probably also not survive a imaginary declutter. Again, I like it. I do. It's very neutral. This is one I've used this palette a lot. It's a nice color story, and it's very, very simplistic neutral shades. I just feel like, have these a million times over. And if I was in a situation where I really needed to cut down on my eyeshadow palettes, I'd probably reach for my neutrals from Natasha Denona over this. So that's probably why I wouldn't keep this one. Another Beauty Bay palette. I bought several of these at the beginning of the year, like I said, and I just think I got a bit overzealous and overly excited. Also, they were having a sale, so I probably should have just ordered like one or two of their palettes, but I think I bought four. So I just think I went a little bit overboard. I didn't need this many. Again, I like the Beauty Bay formula, so this is the Berries palette. I've used it several times and it's nice. It really, really is. But I have pink eyeshadows like over and over again in my collection. Um, it's a good palette. I do. I just, again, I feel like between the Natasha Denona Love palette and some of the shades in the Retro palette and the Sigma New Mod, I don't know. I just don't need this. Probably shouldn't have bought it. Again, I got overly excited because it was my birthday month and I was like, I've been wanting to try the Beauty Bay formula forever, and they were on sale. So I bought four when I probably should have just bought one or two. Um, so that was my own fault. I got overly excited. Okay, two palettes left to talk about. This ColourPop quad, I do like the ColourPop quads. This one is called Beachy Keen. It's good. It's just very simplistic neutral shades that I have over and over again. Um, so I just feel like, with how many neutrals I have in my collection, I wouldn't need to keep this quad, especially if I was really trying to cut down on my collection. These are pretty though. They're really nice. They're good eyeshadows. I just, yeah, I don't love this plastic packaging. And again, this is something I haven't used that much. So, it's in good condition. I could easily give it to someone else. I would just have to, yeah. I'm glad I don't have to make this choice right now, by the way, because I don't actually want to declutter any of these palettes. And the last one, yeah, makes me a little bit sad. The Naked, what is this called? Ultraviolet. I forgot the name of the palette. What does that tell you? I like this one. I keep saying that, but I don't use it all that often. It's what I call a subtle colorful palette. These are not super high pigment, which is okay for me because for me, this is a good like daytime colorful palette, kind of similar to some of the shades I'm wearing right now, actually. I'm not wearing this palette. And I do love this minty shade. These are just so like peachy brown neutrals that I have a million times over. So why would I keep them? I don't know. I got to use this palette more. I do, but I just feel like I probably have these colors elsewhere, probably in a better formula. So again, also the packaging though, it's so pretty. I wouldn't want to get rid of it because of the packaging, but that's not a good enough reason. So yeah, that is it for this hypothetical situation. If I really had to get rid of these palettes, I would. I'm also extremely sad for myself that I have not yet used this Gourmand Girls palette. I need to do that. I should pull that out and just like set it there and say, okay, you need to use that palette soon. But yeah, these are good palettes. I just, I got a lot of palettes. So if I had to cut down, these would have to go. So that is it for this video. Please let us know, what eyeshadow palettes would you hypothetically declutter if you really, really had to do it? And thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.